The Crisis Skylight Centre in the heart of East London is a national charity that provides a variety of creative and educational courses for homeless people. One of their most popular classes is singing.
Because singing is my life and that's what I want to do.
I just sing, I just love singing.
I sing anything really.
The singers at the centre have decided to put together a choir for Christmas, but they've only got 2 weeks to rehearse before they go back on the streets, this time as carol singers. 3 teachers from 2 very different schools have volunteered to help them. At St Paul's Cathedral School in Westminster, they are very proud of their reputation for musical rigour. Deputy Head Paul Cousins is used to working under pressure.
I suppose I get a degree of a buzz from the sort of pressure of doing something in a short space of time and seeing how we get on with that.
Paul's colleague Claire Dyson will also be helping out with the choir.
I'm a complete perfectionist, so I don't know how that will go down.
The other member of the team comes from the John Roan Secondary School in Greenwich. Neil Parrish is head of the music department, and like his fellow teachers, he's used to a captive audience. But this time he'll have to work hard to make sure the singers stay interested.
I don't think we'd be able to maintain that group on the current repertoire if it was to go on beyond next week.
And despite their very different teaching styles, the team will have to work together to create a choir that people will want to stop and listen to.
I mean, the great thing with the kind of repertoire that we're doing is if it comes to it at the end, you can always kind of get through in unison, can't you? Sort of, right, we'll just keep this as simple and straightforward, and you can, they've got the words, they know the tunes, they know what's going on, so it's relatively straightforward as far as that's concerned. What we do need to think about is how we can pad out the programme for the actual performance.
It's only a week to go and 2 rehearsals before their final performance. It's taking place at New Spitalfields Market, which is gearing up for Christmas. The carol singers will have to compete with the stall holders to grab the shoppers' attention. Back at the Skylight Centre, Martina has turned up early to try out her own song with Neil.
What a beautiful world.
If you keep going, and I'll hear it.
The feelings which naturally come to us when you open your heart. Something like that?
Yeah, try and feel like a sort of beat going as we're singing. So if I give... So feel that sort of beat, that swing beat.
Start again with that.
2, 3, 4, 1.
What a beautiful word to describe the feeling which naturally come to us. I'm so happy when I'm in love. I feel so nice, I feel so sexy, I feel so woman. What do you think about?
Yeah, keep going.
So you put the music to.
So I would like to have the opportunity to record the songs, but I don't know if it's possible because sometimes, you have to have a lot of help and be lucky. I'm lucky normally, but you have to be lucky to be able to do that.
I feel so woman.
Yeah. It's not about reading a text and delivering it. It's about an experiment on the day of making this song matter, looking at the spirit of the words, that we'd be able to just sort of have somebody just improvising a line, fitting with the harmonies and taking it from there.
If you could sit in these two, if you two could sit in these 2 chairs and you 2 could go over there and sit next to Claire.
Paul's determined to get the whole choir harmonising.
If you've got someone who knows what they're doing next to you, just kind of pointing you in the right direction, actually it's relatively straightforward, and over time you do work out what it's doing, and we're beginning to see that today. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Lovely.
So it's quite good they're starting to learn that the main part of music is listening and listening to each other. So it was really interesting today hearing the ladies compared to last week. There was a huge difference.
Lovely. I think that is going to sound beautiful because you all know it quite well.
Day job wise, we're kind of getting to that point of just sort of you need the end of term and you just want it all to be over. So actually it's quite nice to come to something where, because at school we're dealing with children who are exhausted and are ready for the Christmas holidays and they just want to go home. Whereas actually here we've got a fresh group who aren't experiencing that, and that's really uplifting. You kind of get to the end of the day and you just, in theory, you just want to go home, but actually you come here and you've got people who are really enjoying themselves and loving what they're doing.
It seems that the rehearsals might be starting to pay off. David has even written a song especially for the performance.
I thought I'd do something about homelessness, with it being sort of representing crisis or, you know, fundraiser for crisis. So I'm working on a homeless song which will be finished. Writing a song in itself is special. One of the hardest things I'm finding about songwriting, which I know I'll sort of get used to, you know, when I've been doing it for a bit longer, it's like, it doesn't matter what you're writing about, you're literally putting your heart, you know, on your sleeve. And for me, sometimes I find it quite hard to, I write a song, and even now I could look through there and find songs which I think, you know, sound really nice, but I look at it and for some reason, to me it's like, I don't want people to hear me sort of singing in that way about that, whatever it is, you know. Trust in your heart and you'll find something. Enter your spirit back in the human race.
Christmas season has hit full swing in London, but for some of the choir, it's not a time they particularly look forward to.
I love the build-up to Christmas and the New Year and all the rest of it, but it's like Christmas Day and New Year's Day in particular, I've never really been a big fan of. You know, that's family time, and I don't sort of have any contact with my family, and I haven't done for quite a while, so I used to have quite bad Christmases, but I think as I've got older, they're sort of getting better.
It would seem that especially at this time of year, having somewhere to go and taking part in this kind of group activity can be a real lifesaver.
Because I'm not in with my family, it's not the same, because we had a particular celebration with family, it's normal. Don't know what I'm gonna do it, you know.
Problems around homelessness and Christmas. Obviously everybody else is having a good time, they have families to go to, they have shelters, they have, you know, love and kindness from other people. If you're living out on the streets, that's not available to you. What we try to do around that particular situation is provide an environment where people can come and share in goodwill with other people.
It's the final rehearsal for the choir, and Neil's last chance to try things out before the performance.
We had an idea that tonight we'd look at the Big Issue song again, and one of the group is called Jason, and he's a poet, and he's got some poems that we can use tonight, and we may be thinking of using the poems as a whole, or taking out some of the lines from the poems, and then fitting that into the song as a whole, and just working with it really as an experiment.
To compose a piece that will let people know what it's like to be homeless at Christmas, or to be on your own or just lonely, and I'm going to talk the words, so it'll be like every face paints a picture. Can you see? I walked 100 hours, my feet are all wet and cold, the rest of me is the same. I stand alone, my feet wet and cold. I remember what special time this is, still nowhere to go. No space at the inn. I remember the fun of opening presents, twisting and turning and pulling the bright coloured paper
He just started extemporising, making up some words and fitting it with the harmonies, and it just sounded absolutely beautiful. And straight away, that was the idea I wanted for the song.
Every window fully dressed. It's Christmas time again.
Had quite a chill factor when we got to the end there. I was thinking, oh gosh. So I think on Sunday that's going to be quite moving.
He came from the glorious kingdom. Oh, yes.
I mean, you've got to remember that, in the grand scheme of things, I mean, we haven't even had 5 hours with them, and with the Big Issue song and stuff like that, we've had some complicated stuff to learn, and they've done remarkably well, and we're singing in 3 parts here, and we're adding percussion, and there's a bit of drama in there as well.
That's my favourite bit, is the Virgin Mary song, really, when we can just stop with the keyboards and just get them singing in 3 parts.
Yeah, I've noticed you started doing that.
And it's quite
really
nice because they get the sort of sense of feeling singing a 3-part harmony, which makes it sound like, wow, we're cracked, we've got some harmony singing, a cappella singing.
And they say that his name was Jesus.
It's got to work, you've got one shot at it and that's it. So I think there's a sort of unwritten language between musicians, isn't there, that you just sort of kind of common understanding.
Show business.
It's the big day, but the temperature is well below 0.
It couldn't be more cold if it tried, so I apologise for that.
Wherever goes, goes. I think it can go well.
Today, hopefully, is going to be my favourite bit.
OK, ladies and gentlemen, right now, at this very second, we're going to start our carol singing. Please,
With only a few shoppers around, will they manage to pull together an audience?
carol singers, come down and support the homeless charity crisis.
He came from the glory. He came from the glorious kingdom.
I hope people stop, I hope people listen, I hope that it moves people to sort of change whatever they're doing at that moment, whatever they're thinking about, that the music sort of says something to somebody in the audience and sort of back the other way as well.
It was a really nice thing to do at the end of the school day, to come along and work with some fabulous people and to have some great fun making music, which is what it was about at the end of the day. So,
Can you see? I've looked in many windows. As I've passed, the first thing... I'd just like to say I felt honoured to work with Neil and Paul, who are a fine gentlemen.
You get wrapped up into the world of your own school environment, and you think it's everything, but sometimes you get more invigorated just by using the skills that you've got from teaching, but just sort of taking them elsewhere and make it happen.
But your dreams on hold, baby, only tell today. Trust in your heart and you'll find your way. Enter your spirit back in the human race.
I just bought a new guitar on Thursday, so I shall spend my time probably writing more songs and trying to build up my repertoire a bit.
I feel so alive.
I was trying again in my room to sing in that to remember the tune.
I thought it was absolutely brilliant. It was so good, and they loved, all of them, loved every minute of it.
Despite the freezing weather, the choir did capture the attention of passers-by, and they raised over £200 for Crisis.
At the end of the day, we got there, we sang, we performed, and they did really well, and hopefully they've raised some money into the bargain as well.